Welcome back to Factual America, the channel where facts matter and freedom comes first. Today we're diving into a topic that could transform, or upend, how every dollar in your pocket works. Central Bank Digital Currencies, or CBDCs. Are they a painless leap into the future, or the final blow to your financial independence? That's what we're going to uncover, with some hard truths the mainstream media won't touch. Stick around, because what you discover today could change the way you think about your own money forever. Let's start with the basics. What is a central bank digital currency? In simple terms, a CBDC is digital money issued and controlled directly by a nation's central bank. Think the Federal Reserve in the United States or the European Central Bank for the Eurozone. Unlike physical cash that you keep in your wallet, CBDCs exist only as code. Entries on a centralized, government-held ledger. No banknotes, no coins, just numbers. On a screen managed by people in Washington or Brussels. Why is this happening now? The world is shifting more and more to digital payments. Credit cards, Venmo, Apple Pay. Some claim cash is outdated and digital money's more efficient, secure, and trackable. The Federal Reserve and other banking authorities argue a CBDC would streamline payments, fight crime, and maybe even make monetary policies more effective. That's the official story. But whenever a government offers you more security in exchange for control, it's smart to ask, what's the catch? We are told this is about progress and efficiency. But let's press pause and consider just how radical a change CBDCs represent. For centuries, cash has been king, a tool for privacy, anonymity, and personal liberty. You can spend $1 without anyone knowing. With CBDCs, the state could, in theory, track every penny you spend, where, and on what. Imagine a ledger where every financial move you make is transparent to the authorities. Big Brother. But now watching not just what you say and do, he's watching what you buy too. Don't believe it could happen here? Consider how surveillance techniques have expanded since 9/11. What started as terrorism monitoring now reaches into our emails, phones, and social media. The step from monitoring your calls to monitoring your daily spending might seem small to ambitious bureaucrats. If CBDCs become the new normal, it could give unelected officials a panoramic view of your financial life, all at the click of a button. Let's not kid ourselves. Financial privacy is more than a luxury. It's a pillar of freedom. With cash, you control how your money moves. With CBDCs, central authorities can see and possibly approve or deny every transaction. That's not just theoretical. In China, with the digital yuan, users' spending can be scrutinized in real time. Political dissidents, religious minorities, anyone deemed undesirable, could be locked out of their own finances in an instant. Some might scoff and say, "But that's China. Things are different here." But are they? In Canada, we saw emergency powers used to freeze accounts of ordinary citizens who joined the trucker protests. Do you really think it couldn't happen in the United States or Europe? Imagine a future protest. Could funding it get your wallet switched off? And the power to censor might not just be political. Picture this. Central bankers advocating for the common good could restrict unhealthy or politically incorrect purchases. Carbon-intensive products like gas, or, doesn't this sound familiar, hamburgers? If regulators decide you're consuming outside government-approved norms, how much longer before your purchases are rationed by code? Let's talk about the flip side, the pro case for CBDCs, because we believe in fairness here at Factual America. Proponents say digital currency could help fight crime, reduce fraud, and simplify welfare payments. They tout stories of lost cash on the street never being found again, or stolen wallets never returned. But ask yourself, is a crime-free society worth it if everyone becomes a suspect, constantly monitored by the government? Supporters also say a CBDC could help with financial inclusion, getting the unbanked access to safe money. That's a noble goal, but why does it require total oversight? Do we really need to send every penny through the government's hands before it gets to us? History is full of temporary measures for public good that soon became permanent fixtures of control. The next twist, what happens to your local bank? In a world of CBDCs, why would you need a checking or savings account with that old bank on Main Street? If the Fed holds your digital dollars directly, commercial banks could find themselves sidelined. That means less competition, fewer choices for consumers, and more power in the hands of central authorities. Let's dig into this disruption. In financial crises, everyone tends to rush to safety. In the old days, that meant withdrawing cash from troubled banks. In a CBDC world, you simply transfer your funds instantly to the Fed. With a few smartphone taps, billions could flood out of commercial banks. Imagine the next financial panic. Could CBDCs cause a run on the banks greater than anything we've seen before? Add to that the potential for negative interest rates, something already tried in Europe and Japan. With physical cash, you have the option to stash your money under the mattress if banks start charging you for holding it. But with CBDCs and no escape into cash, what's to stop central banks from penalizing savers, driving everyone to spend rather than save? What is that going to do to the middle class and retirees on fixed incomes? But here's the real shocker. What if CBDCs are programmable? The technology is already here. This isn't science fiction. Central banks are actively exploring smart contracts that could make your digital dollars expire after a set time, or limit where and when you can spend them. The goal? To engineer your behavior, turning the dollar from neutral money into a tool of policy. Imagine you're given a stimulus payment or a tax rebate, but it must be spent within 30 days, or it vanishes, or your funds can only be used at approved businesses as defined by government mandate. Sounds familiar? It's a level of control that was impossible in the analog era, but frighteningly simple in the new digital one. Privacy isn't the only value at risk. What about freedom of speech and association? With programmable money, the government could in theory punish dissent, deny donations to political causes, withhold payments for controversial books, or cut off funds to certain churches or organizations. Once the infrastructure is built, there's no limit to how it could be used or abused. Of course, some will claim, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. That's only comforting if you trust every future government, forever. But history teaches us that tools put in place for your safety can be hijacked. Imagine these powers in the hands of an opponent or a government you fundamentally disagree with. Once power centralizes, it's nearly impossible to get it back. Now, it's important not to fall for every rumor or social media scare. Friend, there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there about digital money, but we don't need to resort to fantasy. The real dangers are baked right into the public features of CBDCs and described in the official documents. The lawmakers and technocrats driving these changes aren't hiding what's coming. They're boasting about it. So, what can ordinary people do? For starters, pay attention. Demand transparency from your representatives. Ask what privacy protections and legal limits are being included. Support policies that preserve the right to use cash and alternative payment systems. Get involved with local and national organizations defending financial privacy, and let your voice be heard before it's too late. Another twist. Don't assume this is just a liberal or globalist project. Some on the right see CBDCs as a way to fight tax evasion or illegal activity. Some on the left embrace them for policy enforcement. But history tells us, whenever government power increases, it rarely shrinks again. Today's useful tool becomes tomorrow's instrument of control. If you think these are just the wild imaginations of alarmists, consider that dozens of nations, including the US, UK, EU, and China, are investing billions in research and pilot programs right now. The future of money is being built behind closed doors, and by the time it arrives, it could be too late to stop. What about cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin? Some argue that private digital currencies offer a way out, a means of preserving financial freedom beyond the reach of central banks. But don't be fooled. Some CBDCs are specifically designed to undercut and even ban private crypto, making sure only approved digital money survives. The war over the future of money isn't coming. It's already here. Should we fear the end of financial freedom? Maybe not. If citizens speak up now, and if policymakers commit to ironclad rules guaranteeing privacy and decentralization. If CBDCs are designed for voluntary use and not forced adoption, if cash remains available alongside digital options, And if independent watchdogs hold government to account, perhaps we can have innovation without tyranny. But history warns us. Power taken is rarely returned without a fight. Freedom isn't lost in a day. It slips away in small steps, each one justified as progress. If you value the right to control your own money, if you believe privacy and choice are essential American values, this is the time to get informed, get involved, and make your voice heard. For those who've followed this far, what do you think? Is the rise of central bank digital currencies a threat to your freedom, or just the next step in digital convenience? Leave your opinions in the comments, and let us know. What financial issues or freedoms are you most concerned about? What topics do you want us to dig into next? At Factual America, your voice is what matters. So help us keep the conversation free and fearless. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with friends who care about truth and liberty in the digital age.